Look, we've talked about this many times on Game Ranks. I myself, Jake, have gone out of my way to talk about it a lot. Grand Theft Auto 4 is awesome. It blew us away in 2008 when this classic sequel dropped on the Xbox 360 PS3 generation. This was a game that was ahead of its time in a lot of ways, and we're just still impressed with it in 2025. Thanks to the tireless efforts of the modding community. Two specific mods really turned the graphics in this game unreal. The RTX Remix mod by XOXOR4D is still in the testing phase, but it's one of the most impressive graphical enhancements we've seen for an old game. It turns the muddy, sometimes blurry graphics of the PC version into a clean, silky image that looks surprisingly modern. It's a complete facelift for a game that graphically looks pretty rough today, but still has incredible art style, and this brings it into the 21st century. We wanted to explore it. Here's what GTA 4 looks like with RTX Remix and the Fusion Fix mod enabled. It's like if a remaster was made entirely by fans. The biggest change in the RTX Remix is the cars. I mean, look at it. Like, the vehicles benefit the most from the RTX shaders, turning the pretty flat vehicles from the original game into something from a much more modern game, almost like Gran Turismo. The paint is now bright and reflective with a more realistic sheen to the model. It's impressive how much these models hold up more than 10 years later. The bones were just that good. Now just looking ridiculously good under the new global shadows that populate the cityscape. Just driving around the city, it honestly looks like a completely different game. The physics are no longer tied to the frame rate, so FPS is unlocked in the mods, allowing for more natural movement and taking away a lot of the jerkiness of the original game. It's really the cars that stand out the most. The way the light reflects off the metal exteriors, their headlamps project shadows, all those new lighting effects like really go the extra mile. And it looks really, really good at night. The neon signs like going through Times Square, like it really, really glows, giving off this like emissive light that affects everything in the area. Night really shines in this mod, and it's taking you out of the unnaturally dark city and adds bright lights everywhere. That's the kind of ambiance the original game just couldn't quite pull off on the old hardware, and it feels complete now. And just for fun, we also quickly took a spin with the lowest settings possible with Fusion Fix enabled. Putting GTA 4 in potato quality mode is a very different kind of weirdness. Have you ever seen those like crappy GTA ripoffs on mobile, like on the iOS App Store? Suddenly, the game looks a lot like that. It's got like the blown out brightness and stretched blurry textures of a no-budget phone game. At least this version runs really well, even if we have no idea what we're doing. Anyway, let's jump back into the good graphics. Now, while we're driving around in RTX Remix, the city just has like a different vibe. The already incredible city just feels even cooler now. The RTX mod adds like a softness to the edges of just about everything, taking away that really like polygonal look that older games had, where buildings just kind of felt like a cube made of vertices. The shaders give all those lower poly structures a more dimensional look that's especially good when you're driving around, not really looking at anything too closely. The city and everything in it look good at a middle distance. The NPCs look a little funky in this mod, I will say. It doesn't seem like there's an easy fix to these old potato-shaped character models that populate this Liberty City. They're charming, yes, but the mod makes them look a little like kind of like clay figures in real life. We don't know how to describe the effect exactly. There's like an unreality to them. They aren't meant to look photorealistic in the original game, and plopping these characters down into the photorealistic world definitely has a kind of odd, uncanny effect. Look, they're not bad at all, but they do look kind of off in a fun way. Look, we don't expect the mod makers to fix every single tiny thing, and Rockstar's funky character models just need to be retained. It's all a win, really, because these mods were made by passionate members of a community that wanted to experience games on the latest hardware. Like, we're recording GTA 4 here on a brand new RTX 5080, and we want to see this old game in a totally different light. A lot of games aren't made to actually look better. Like, we're far away from the days of Crysis, where that game was a good benchmark for your computer processing power, because every new computer you'd get, you'd be able to pump up the graphics and get a totally different looking game. Not so much with a lot of games nowadays where they're properly built with performance in mind. GTA 4 was one of those games when it originally dropped on PC, because the PC version was oddly missing some of the graphics from the original release on console. This doesn't appear intentional. A lot of graphics were lost after patches, and the complete edition of GTA 4 caused more graphics issues that modders have just been trying to correct for years. Bless their hearts. The RTX Remix mod does a lot with an old game, using NVIDIA's RTX Remix platform in ways it wasn't intended for, and that a lot of people thought would be impossible. So for those that don't know, if you don't know, RTX Remix is this open source platform that allows enterprising modders to add RTX to old games. Instead of remastering old games themselves, which honestly would probably be impossible due to all the work required, NVIDIA has given the community tools to do all the hard work themselves. This allows creators to capture game assets, change lighting in scenes, and change how surfaces appear with a PBR material system. PBR meaning performance-based rendering. The program is able to capture assets, mostly accurately from the game, and then gives you the tools to transfer those models into Blender or Adobe Substance to enhance them by hand. There's also an AI upscaler here, which is one of the least controversial uses of AI. Upscaling textures, as long as they aren't too pixelated, it's entirely possible through AI, but creators have to be vigilant. That's why it's just one tool instead of an all-in-one fix. RTX Remix has some pretty stunning results for a lot of older games, and GTA 4 is one of the most impressive for us because of how difficult it is to get right. A game like Portal can get an unnatural new photorealism coat of paint, but GTA 4 is special. That Liberty City felt so unique. It needs to retain that gritty, messy, human aesthetic that it had originally. GTA 4 was a technical marvel back in 2008. The playable world was exponentially more detailed than San Andreas before it, with more vertical detail and more stuff to do in the city. Interiors are fully modeled for some locations, and the action just felt a lot more realistic, with a full cover system to supplement the shooting. Now, one of the most impressive innovations of the original, and some of you guys probably remember this, it's the physics system, which allowed characters to tumble realistically in ways we didn't really see in video games. Ragdoll physics were a thing at this point, but this was way more advanced than that. Characters stumbled and tripped over their own legs, or flew out of the car, rolled up in a ball, and skid across the pavement. Those physics added another layer of chaotic unpredictability in GTA 4 that only got more advanced in 5 and other Rockstar games like Red Dead. That truly cinematic, grounded style really first appeared in GTA 4, and we've been following the HD universe since the game's massive success. Today, GTA 4, it looks drab in comparison to GTA 5. The city and everything in it looks like it's covered in a thick layer of Vaseline. The characters look less like humans and more like Muppets in a gaming landscape with face scanning and advanced motion capture. It's great in its original form as fans from the old days, though. It's also great seeing how modders take that original template and really fancy it up for our very, very expensive computers. I mean, RTX isn't the only big change to GTA 4 when you're playing and modding in 2025. The most impressive mod for GTA 4 available right now is what we've mentioned before, Fusion Fix. And this mod goes even further with the changes. Everything is updated and enhanced without changing the core models. We'd be here all day if we had to list all the changes, but look, it all comes down to making the game look as photorealistic as possible, with subtle tone mapping, motion blur, depth of field, object fading, and a lot of anti-aliasing. The rain and water effects look especially impressive here. Scenes of a rainy city with the hazy fog and the distance, the lights at night, all look really dang incredible, man. You won't ever think this is a brand new game. The geometry is still too primitive for that, but like, you'd be right to think it's better than a professional remaster. This is the type of remaster for players that don't care about like retaining the very specific atmosphere of the original. We fluctuate. Sometimes it's nice to experience a game how we remembered it, but it is cool seeing a game like through a totally different lens, getting to see the city we're already familiar with in like a new way, so we can appreciate the effort made by the developers at Rockstar even more, thanks to all the hard work from these incredible modders. Fusion Fix at this point is the granddaddy of enhancement mods for the original GTA 4. It doesn't just make the game look better, it makes the game run better and fixes a lot of the bugs that official patches haven't touched for over a decade. Fusion Fix isn't the same total overhaul as RTX Remix though. The graphics here are better. The colors are enhanced with more depth, and the lighting is far better with realistic glows replacing the baked-in emissions of the original game. It's a more faithful recreation on its own, but combining these mods together gives you full control over what you want to see and how you want to see it. You can have a subtle facelift with enhanced lighting, shadows, frame rate, or go all out with RTX Remix and create this weird alternate reality version of the game that's been upscaled everywhere without drastically changing any of the geometry. The city is exactly the same in all of these mods, it's just the layer of effects on top of it that give it a deeper, more detailed look. And it all comes at a huge cost of processing power. Like we said earlier, we needed a giant RTX 5080 card to run this like this, and boosting those settings is like melting our PC. The developer for the RTX Remix mod is working on ways to lower the performance hit, but you'll need top of the line cards to really get the visuals and good performance. And while we are talking about mods, Fusion Fix is a completed mod that's really simple to apply. We did have endless problems getting the RTX Remix mod to work, to be completely honest, but a clean installation definitely helped. The RTX Remix mod is still in development and only available for Patreon backers right now, so it's very in an early state. If you want to learn all about that, it's linked in the description down below. Now, if you're the type of person that has no idea how to make mods really work, or if you're like a beginner, Fusion Fix is definitely the easier, more casual choice. Also linked below if you want to read about it. RTX Remix is for psychos like us that just want to get the most out of the game. Look, if you want our advice, use RTX Remix for grabbing awesome looking clips of the game. Fusion Fix is, the real deal when it comes to updating the look of the game while also keeping your computer from like lighting on fire. Fusion Fix actually improves optimization of the original game, so it's a mod that's well worth seeking out if you want to experience the game all over again. It's one of our favorite open world action games. And these mods add another reason to go back and experience the crime life with Niko. Coming to America, coming to Liberty City, an incredible story told here with depth and emotion, but still the satire, wit, and zaniness you expect from a GTA game. Plus, a recreation of a New York in the early 2000s that I think is still unmatched. Nobody's been able to recreate the feel of the boroughs like Rockstar did here. But with the mods, it's just awesome to see what people can do. Fans of games who have brains and creativity. Even with something as back as from 2008 here. If you're big on RTX Remix, there's a whole community of modders doing the same thing to hundreds of games. But again, if you want to check out Fusion Fix, RTX Remix, it's all linked in the description down below. Be careful, have fun, don't melt your computer, do it at your own risk, but we'd love to know what you think about modding GTA 4. If you have any experience, there's plenty of videos out there that show this kind of stuff, but we just kind of were itching to talk about it. So let us know what you think, and honestly, let us know what you think about GTA 4 in general. What a lovely game. Again, I've talked about it to death on this channel, but yeah, let us know. If you like this video, clicking the like button does help us out. We really appreciate that. And if you're new, consider subscribing, maybe hitting that notification bell because we put out videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.